From the four winds and the scent of the earth come the color of the seasons. Exploring the four seasons of Japan. About 150 years ago, the era of the samurai came to an end, and Japan embarked on a journey of becoming a modern state. Western architecture that was built in succession during this time represents the aspirations of the Japanese toward a new era. The Japanese were eager to catch up with and overtake Western countries by incorporating Western civilization.
西洋建築というものを取り入れて文明開化の象徴にしていこう。
Eventually, we see the Japanese start to advance forward, aiming to be the best in the world. This new style was evident in the architecture of houses of the time. A home of a great actress, which represented the life of women in the new age.
久しぶりだ。ああ、帰ってきたって感じだ。
As soon as the Japanese opened up to the West, they began a race to become a modern state. In this episode of Seasoning the Seasons, we take a look at modern architecture, which reflects their dreams. For over 200 years during the samurai era, Japan had closed its trade with other countries. However, about 150 years ago, Japan lifted its ban on foreign trade and opened up its gates to the world, which started a sudden inflow of Western civilization. This led to Westernization, a dramatic change in all aspects of life and culture of the Japanese people. In Matsumoto, the city's castle has long seen the times move on. The wave of Westernization came to this city too. For many Japanese, the first Western-style buildings they saw were schools or government offices. This is an elementary school that was built in 1876. We visited the school building with some of its former pupils.
校舎のこの功労ですか。これだけはね、どっから見ても目立ったもんですからね。
いや、すごいなと思いましたね。
At first glance, it is a Western-style building, but the front door is decorated with a Chinese dragon. The balcony railing features oriental clouds, and above these are two flying Western cupids. The school building was used for 87 years. Today, it is a museum exhibiting educational materials of the time. The school was the first to adopt desks and chairs in Japan, rather than sitting on tatami mats, which was still the norm at the time.
卒業式の日にね、卒業式の日にこの裏で名前彫ってたんだよね。
the auditorium on the second floor, where entrance and graduation ceremonies were held. It was a world of color and light, which children at the time had never seen. The school building was designed by Seiju Tateishi, a local carpenter. In order to build a school that the locals would be proud of, Tateishi first had to see for himself what Western architecture looked like. Tateishi visited Tokyo, saw as much Western architecture as possible, and made sketches of everything he saw. These design elements can be seen everywhere in the school building. For example, the railing of the tower features Western-style arabesque designs. The people of Matsumoto also had high expectations for the school to nurture people who would be leaders of the new age. With such anticipation, 70% of the construction costs were covered by local donations. From the tower of the school, the tower of Matsumoto Castle can be seen. The expectations toward that new age continue to live on in the hearts of those who graduated from this school. A gorgeous sample of architecture with contrasting red bricks and white stones. Around the year 1900, many sophisticated Western-style structures were created by the Japanese. This is another magnificent architectural style, modeled after the buildings of European universities. The presence of red bricks significantly changed the landscape of Tokyo. The bricks used in many of these buildings were produced by a brick manufacturer in Fukaya, Saitama. The company helped the modernization of Japan by making bricks starting 125 years ago. Sukemasa Kaneko, who served as the chairman of the company, guided us through the kiln where the bricks were once baked. The inside of the kiln is a donut-shaped tunnel. The tunnel was divided into a number of rooms where bricks were stacked to the ceiling and baked. The fire of the kiln would go from one room to the next, making it possible to bake a large number of bricks at once.
当時としてはですね、非常に最新式なものでございました。これだけ大量生産ができて、でしかも連続に焼けて、でしかもですね、やはり熱効率がですね、当時としては非常にいい窯なんですよ、これ。
In its heyday, the factory produced 32 million bricks a year.
約120年の歴史を持ってましたから、やはり明治のですね、近代化といいますか、これを建築面でですね、材料をですね、やはり提供できたという、これが一番の最大の役割だと思いますね。
There is a monumental building from that era in which a lot of bricks were used. It is Tokyo Station, which was built about 100 years ago using 9 million bricks. The total length of the building is over 300 meters long. The red-bricked Tokyo Station is today still the gateway to Tokyo and loved by the Japanese people. After finishing restoration work in 2012, Tokyo Station has regained its elegant appearance. The town of Kosaka in Akita. It is a former mining town that once boasted the largest production volume of copper in Japan. Decorated by colorful roadside banners is the Korakukan Theater, which was built about 100 years ago. The Western-style appearance has been influenced by American wooden buildings. It is thought that engineers of the mining company designed this theater. Unlike its exterior, the interior of the theater takes on a Japanese style. Guests are asked to remove their shoes at the entrance before heading to the audience seats. Korakukan was an entertainment facility for the people who worked in the mines. Kabuki performances and song shows would be held, and sometimes it was used as a movie theater. Korakukan was conceived from the dream of one young man, Fusanosuke Kuhara, who became the director of the mine at the young age of 31. Kuhara dreamt of building the ideal industrial city. Kuhara first undertook the modernization of the mine. He introduced a new smelting technology, which resulted in an unprecedented economic boom for the town of Kosaka. At that time, copper was the second most important metal resource next to iron. At its peak, 8,000 workers worked at the mine. Next, Kuhara built a hydroelectric power plant and lit the first electric lamps in the prefecture. He also introduced piped water supply and telephone lines. In addition, a new train line and a general hospital were constructed. And in 1910, the Korakukan Theater was completed. It was a theater on a scale unmatched in the Tohoku area of the time. Today, popular drama is still performed here.
ああ、帰ってきたって感じだ。ああ、いい小屋だね、やっぱり。
Hiroshi Hitomi is an actor and a leader of a troupe that performs here every year. The dressing room is filled with the warm memories of the actors who performed here over the years.
100年以上経ってますんで、いろんなこの思いってあるんだろうなと思います。ですから軽い気持ちでこの舞台に立っちゃいけないなといつも思ってます。俳優の大先輩たちがいろんな大御所の方、名優さんたちがこの舞台立たれてますんで、すごく重みを感じます。
When the mining company invited workers and their families to free recreational performances at the theater several times a year, there would always